Hey, what's going on, my YouTube friends? It's Richard, founder of Short Term Rental University and Airbnb Superhost. I'm coming to you live today from the beautiful Harbor Island in the Bahamas. And I want to share with you a little story. So it does relate to short-term rentals, it does relate to Airbnb, it does relate to life in general, and it relates to being an entrepreneur and seeing things and trying to figure out like how that relates to improving ourselves and our business and so on. So let's take a little journey on a real life experience that happened to me here in Harbor Island that we can all learn from. So I was here in Harbor Island about a decade ago and really loved it, haven't been back, super pumped to come down here with my daughter Victoria on spring break. And one of my fondest memories of Harbor Island and the Bahamas in general is this local delicacy. It's conch salad. For those of you who don't know what conch is, it's that beautiful like shell that people play. So when I got down here, the very first thing I did was try and get it on Nassau, and the place that I went to like sells out. It's that popular. They only have it for lunch, and I went there for dinner and it was sold out. So when I got to Harbor Island, the first thing I did was check into the hotel and the restaurants, and nobody had it either. But I remembered that there was this little place like near the waterfront, this little like shed, shack, hut. Didn't deter me, I love it. So I went down there and couldn't find it, asked the locals, and they said, go talk to the conch king. And unfortunately, the conch king didn't have any conch that day. So he explained to me that he had to go get some conch, and his boy was bringing it to him, and so on and so forth, and I should come back the next day. And I was so excited, I was like, all right, my man, and I'm high-fiving the guy. I'm like, I'm coming tomorrow, I'm coming tomorrow. And so like, I'm excited, I'm the raving fan, this is what he wants. And I came back the next day, gave him the benefit of the doubt and said, all right, my man, let's go. Showed up the next day. He wasn't ready to go. He told me that he, now had to clean the conch and he had to do this, and I should come back the next day, and if I really needed him to, he'd make me a special one, but like he didn't seem prepared. There was nothing there. I didn't have all day to go into the conch. So I said, listen, I'd love to come back tomorrow, but in the meantime, where do I get a conch salad? Like I need to go get some of this while I'm here. I only have a few days, and I've been dreaming of this delicacy for 10 years. So he said, oh, well, down the road a little bit is Queen Conch. And I said, okay, are you guys affiliated or no? And he said, no, not affiliated, but you can go get the conch salad there today and come back to me tomorrow. And I said, bet, let's do that. Now, here's the thing. I went to Queen Conch. I had a tremendous experience. They were all set up. They had a kitchen. They had 3 different women. They had a station. They had all the stuff ready to go. It was beautiful. It was delicious. It was inviting. It turned out they had a deck in the back to sit looking over the water, which King Conch didn't have. I wasn't looking for any of that. In fact, I didn't even know Queen Conch existed. I just wanted some conch salad. And had the guy been ready on day 1, he would have had me for the entire trip. He wasn't. I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I went for day 2, and he wasn't ready then either. But I wasn't prepared to go back day 3 and day 4 and like invest all this time. He wasn't able to satisfy. He didn't have his business up and running. And in fact, in order to like satisfy me and like help me out, he told me to go to his competitor. And it turns out I went there every single day, and I had great meals every single day, and I had conch salad, and I don't know, I must have spent a couple $100 at the rival establishment. So how does this relate to you and your short-term rental business and any other business that you're in? Well, the first thing I want you to do, and I just filmed a course with Charles about being an entrepreneur, about going from short-term rental to thinking like an entrepreneur. And the first thing I want you to do is to start thinking about it, putting on a different lens, right? Like these glasses are corrective lenses, but they're also my entrepreneur lenses. When I have these things on, everything I look at, I see differently, and I view the world as like opportunistic and what can I fix and what service is missing. And I want you to do the same thing. So in your day-to-day life, instead of just going and not getting the conch salad and going somewhere else, start to think about like, what are the lessons? What could I improve? What would I have done differently? What can I do in my business? So the first thing I want you to think about is that entrepreneur mindset. Like, what's going on here? What's broken? What can be fixed? And how do I apply it to myself? And then specifically as it relates to your short-term rental business and Airbnb, this is where responsiveness comes into play. Right? So like somebody's shopping, they're eager, they want to get the lodging set up in your hometown. You've got the right number of beds, they looked at the photos, they want to speak to you, they want you there. You could be like King Conch and be ill-prepared or slow or delay or tell them to come back the next day. And they could be like me and go on to the next place and never come back. Or you could be like Queen Conch that's prepared and open for business and responsive and available and serve something great And you could have guests for life, right? Like that single conversion could be somebody who comes back once a year for a week or 2 weeks at a time. So like the lifetime value of that single response could be huge. I'm not suggesting that every single response will generate that lifetime value of a customer, but what I am saying is you don't know who's going to be that lifetime value, so you have to treat them all the same. You have to pretend or expect or anticipate that they could all be lifelong customers of your cottage, your bungalow, your oceanfront house, whatever you have, forever. And so therefore, even though it might be inconvenient or not timely or you're in the middle of something, you have to respond. And if those things become a nuisance for you, you're too busy or there's too many requests or you've scaled and there's too many properties, it's time to start thinking about outsourcing that and automating that and getting a virtual assistant or figuring out how you're going to do it, because it's no longer acceptable to say, well, I'm busy and I'll get to it when I get home, or I'm at work now, it's, my day job and I'll get the response when I get home. Folks, this is a competitive environment. The risks and the stakes are increasing. There's more and more people tuning into my channel and our Facebook group and learning and turning their places on and being better hosts. So we can't do things the way that we did a year ago. King Kong may have gotten away with that a year ago or 2 years ago. I mean, he's the king. But guess what? The queen just down the road is stealing his business every single day to the tune of hundreds of dollars with this guy and the next guy and the next guy. And so just think about the world as an entrepreneur, things that you go through, what works, what doesn't, what would you do differently, and then translate that into your short-term rental business on Airbnb. Like, what am I doing well? What am I not doing well? What do I need to modify? I used to do it that way a year ago, but I'm not standing still. I'm not going to become extinct. I'm not going to be a dinosaur. I'm going to move forward. I'm going to take advantage of the full opportunity. The opportunity's here. The opportunity's here and now. I'm going to do this today. So think about the world that way. Just don't go through and manage your circumstances. Don't go through and manage the internal requests in any fashion that you have in the past. Be proactive. Be entrepreneurial. Be responsive. Think about growth. Think about the lifetime value of a customer. It's not just 1 night or 2 night stay. It could be a 2-night stay this time that turns into a week next year, that turns into a week every single year for the next 20 years on your own website with no booking fees from Airbnb or HomeAway. So I hope you found this video helpful. Please leave your comments below. What little things have you encountered in your life that has led to a breakthrough, an opportunity, or a business decision, right? Because it happens in real time in the real world. So share below so we can all benefit from that. I'd love to hear from you, and I'd really appreciate a like on this video if you found this helpful and started to stretch your mind a little bit beyond tips and hacks of Airbnb, starting to think more broadly, more like an entrepreneur. And if you like that, we're just getting started. So go ahead and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it, my friends. See ya.